Hey guys, gals, hey guys, gals, and non-binary pals. Um, so part two. Now the hardest part about my divorce, and it is not having to deal with the agreement, the custody agreements, the child support, and all that other stuff. That's just legal bullshit. Yeah, it sucks that I get to see my kids only on the weekends, but you know what? It is what it is, and you gotta take your lumps, so to speak. And guys, trigger warning for some of the things that I'm going to talk about today. This should be a shorter video because I don't want to go too in depth, because this is all about dealing with my kids, like trying to raise them in co-parenting. And this is all about co-parenting, and this is my perspective on it. This isn't legal stuff. This isn't counselor stuff. This isn't this is my perspective on co-parenting and what I've gone through so far of this year since having the divorce. Okay. At first it was really hard. It was really weird because I was still living in the basement of my old house, where my ex is, and we had a duplex kind of. The basement was a master suite, so I had a kitchenette, had everything that I ever needed. So I was living down there until I found an apartment. Now, that was weird, not because of having to live with my ex, but my kids had instant access to, if they didn't want to be downstairs, they could go upstairs and be with their aunt, or whatever. But, and there wasn't very much room to entertain them with. I didn't have many toys to entertain them with. So they always want to go upstairs. They always want to be with mom. And I get that. I do. And it made it very difficult trying to do that and trying to, and again, it was at the very early stages of the divorce. So it was hard. It was very hard, to know that they were coming home, like listening and waiting. And I never thought I would do that. I never thought I'd be that person. But, listening to people's, what do you call it? Their system, how they, at a certain time they walk this way, oh, they're running late. I wonder what they were doing, blah, blah, blah. And God, that's fucking toxic. It was horrible on my mental health being there, like the worst. And it wasn't even the fact of, if my ex brought somebody home, which, I don't know if she ever did. I don't care enough. But it was just being in that kind of close prospect and the kids being able to just go back and forth when it was my weekend. And I didn't have any room for them to be down there because it was only one bedroom. Like I said, it was a master suite. So yeah, there was a bedroom, but I had to, lay out separate beds and try to make things nice for them and, try and fit 3 kids onto one bed. It wasn't working. Especially when they come from a very plush and comfy situation of their own beds. And with their own beds being just above them, trying to convince them, hey, you need to stay down here. But let's flash forward to March of whatever. I got my own place, and I built the bunk beds. All kids have their own beds now. It's very nice. They can't run over to their mom's section of the house or whatever. It is, they are with me. It was a little hard getting used to, because now I had to find something to do to entertain them. And so we found things. We played outside because it was starting to get nicer outside. We went on walks for a little bit. Summer came, summer went. had surgery and all that stuff. But now to what you probably are, why you're here on this video. The questions. Now, my daughter is very smart. She's very intelligent. She scares me with how intelligent she is. My son, he's also very intelligent, but he's, kind of just whatever. He just does whatever. Doesn't really worry too much about much of anything unless it affects him directly. He just doesn't care. And then my youngest, she's very nonverbal with me. She'll start singing songs and doing things, but she's very to herself. So, but my eldest, back to that, was asking me questions of why mommy and daddy aren't together. Will mommy and daddy ever live together again? And I tell her, honestly, I don't know. And right now it's too soon to see whatever happens. You're with daddy right now, and I can't tell her what happened because I don't want her to have any animosity towards her mother via my opinion. It's not right. And I won't talk negatively about her mom in front of her. I won't talk negatively about their mother in front of any of them. As much as some days, you just get really pissed off and you want to tell them how it is, but I don't. I refuse to, because that's my opinion. And I don't think any child deserves their parents' opinion thrusted upon them to be like, hey, this is how your mom is, or this is how your dad is. It's not okay. Alrighty. Oh, somebody's dying. But it's not okay. There's an ambulance. To force your opinions of the opposite parent onto them. And I have done my very best to make sure that I don't do that. And I kind of feel good that I haven't done that, because my parents for a long time did not, and sometimes still do not donut after 28 years of divorce, and they still don't really care for each other. They'll play nice occasionally, but occasionally they'll, badmouth each other underneath the breath, and it's like, guys, really? I'm fucking 30 years old. Get over it. Okay? And, and that's where my counseling has really come in handy, that even my counselor's like, you outgrow each other. Sometimes you just gotta move on. And when my daughter asks questions of, if someone's gonna be their stepmom, and I'm like, no. There's a reason, my girlfriend or, whatever, doesn't come around when I have my kids, because I don't want my kids to have that attachment, because they might not be there. The person that I'm involving myself may not be there next week. We might have a falling out. They might go away, and I don't want my kids attached to that person. So my daughter asked me about my current girlfriend, if they were going to be a stepmom. I'm like, no. Daddy's not looking for a stepmom. Daddy's not looking for a new mommy for you yet. Daddy's not ready for that. So, and do you still love mommy? And I answer honestly, part of me still does, but it will never be the same as it once was. It never will. As the mother of my child, yes, she'll always have a part of my heart, but in all reality, I don't think it would be healthy for either one of us to be back in a relationship. I don't. And that is coming from the deepest part of my heart, that maybe we might be friends someday, and that's what I've told my daughter. Maybe we'll be friends someday, but I don't think mommy and daddy will ever live in the same house ever again. And that's because of our own personal reasons. And I told her that. I said, You know, mommy and daddy love you guys very much, and I don't think, you know, we will ever have the same family ever again. And that's okay. That is perfectly fine. And she'll be sad for a little bit, and she'll say, okay. And she'll ask me another question, well, do you want to get married again? I said, no, I don't want to get married again. Because that's a lot of legal bullshit. I didn't say that part, but I said, I don't think I'll be able to love another person ever again like that. I might, but right now, no. And so that was one of the biggest things that I need my daughter to know, that, it's this is the way it is. And I lied to you guys. I said this was going to be a shorter video. It is not. It's here at almost 11 minutes now. But that's something I needed her to know, that nothing that happened between her mother and I ever affected the way I felt about her. And I hope it doesn't affect the way that her mother feels about her or any of the kids. And that was my honest answer. That, I don't know. I don't know what's going on in, the other part of the world. And I never will. And my daughter, like I said, she accepts the answers that I give her. And I'm giving her the most honest, upfront answer that I can without overwhelming her with, anything that could be considered negative towards her mother or towards myself or towards her brother or sister. Sorry, I had a hiccup. Because that is not fair to her, and that's not fair to anyone else. So that is all about kids asking questions, even though it was a very small portion of the video. God. But thank you for listening. Like, subscribe. If you want to share this with a friend because they're going through some of the same shit, send to a friend. Guys especially. With everything that's going on in the world and people just trying to fake it and be macho, you're not helping anybody. You're just prolonging the inevitable. Time to accept what is real. Okay? You're divorced. It is what it is. Take care of your kids.